Episode 4 of Pluribus is all about agency, control, and the messy reality of being human in a world where almost everyone has merged into a single hive mind. The episode shows two very different people, Carol and Manousos, both fighting for the right to make their own choices, even when those choices hurt themselves or others. It also dives deep into the idea of experts, trust, and the danger of running experiments in the real world without limits or safety. This episode is heavy, chaotic, and uncomfortable, but that's the point. It wants us to question what freedom really looks like, especially when the cost of that freedom is pain. We start the episode with Manousos Oviedo. He's alone, starving, and trying to decode radio signals using a homemade system. Even before we know everything about him, the episode shows what kind of man he is: stubborn, principled, and deeply independent. He ran a storage facility with strict rules, and it's clear he probably lived his whole life by those same tight rules. Even though he's been starving, Manousos refuses to take food from the hive mind. He'd literally rather lick the bottom of an empty can than accept help from what he sees as the enemy. Eventually, hunger forces him to break into the storage units for food, but even then, he leaves a handwritten apology note. That note is important. It shows he still believes in the old world. He still believes in right and wrong. He refuses to become like them, and he refuses to let the new world rewrite who he is. Carol calls him for the first time right as he's eating dog food, which already sets the tone. She tries to be polite and supportive, but that only makes him think she's part of the hive mind. Her kindness feels fake to him. It's only when she calls back and swears at him that he finally understands that Carol is just like him. This moment matters more than it seems. For Manousos, finding another immune person is like evidence that he hasn't been left behind. It gives him a reason to keep going.
How would you say my work compares to Shakespeare?
Equally wonderful.
You love my books as much as Macbeth or Much Ado?
Yes. And Henry VI, parts 1, 2, and 3.
Carol leaves the hospital, overwhelmed by Genie in a Bottle on the car radio. The world is cleaner, safer, more organized, and even politicians are actually doing their jobs. Her mayor is there helping clean debris from the grenade accident at her house. But instead of feeling impressed, Carol feels disturbed. The mayor is not really her mayor. He is just one part of the hive mind wearing that face. Things work better now, but it doesn't feel real. Carol starts making a whiteboard list of everything she knows about the hive. She wants answers, and she wants to confirm if the hive truly cannot lie. She tests this using Larry, one worker of the hive who volunteers to help. Larry is awkward, honest, and sometimes funny without meaning to be. He compliments Carol's books, recites lines from her series, and even claims her work is as good as Shakespeare. Carol doesn't trust any of this. She doesn't believe him because she doesn't believe in herself, and she thinks the hive is too nice to be honest. Then we learn something important. The hive doesn't love her books because they're good. They love them because her books saved people, including Moira, a woman who almost took her own life before reading them. For the hive, anything that spreads warmth is valuable. That's why her work means so much to them. The real punch comes when Larry reveals Helen's true thoughts. Carol loved Helen deeply and always wondered what Helen really thought of her writing. When Larry confesses that Helen thought the books were harmless, meaning not good nor bad, just harmless, it hurts Carol. She learns her wife protected her feelings instead of giving honest feedback.
No way. Nobody sane is that happy. I call bullshit on that. Anne? Why's she gotta be so goddamn fuckable?
Carol goes to see Zosia, partly to apologize and partly to get more information. Zosia explains something important. The hive understands more about their situation now. They know how they changed and what the virus does. Carol asks the biggest question of the episode. Can it be reversed? Zosia refuses to answer, which is an answer. There is a way. They just won't tell her because they don't want to lose their new state of happiness. Zosia also argues that the hive mind is actually the more informed group. They have lived both before and after the infection, so their decision to stay merged is based on knowledge, not fear. Carol still refuses to consider joining them, especially because she was forced into a conversion camp as a teen. Any form of being changed against her will triggers a deep trauma. Carol buys sodium thiopental, the truth serum. She records herself under its influence. The clip reveals a raw, unfiltered Carol. She hates the hive's fake happiness. She resents Zosia. Even if she's attracted to her, she misses Helen deeply, and she hates the idea of losing her humanity. It's uncomfortable but honest.
Tell me! What is it? Tell me what it is. Tell me.
Carol makes her most reckless choice yet. She drugs Zosia with the same truth serum to force her to reveal the antidote. But Zosia is already weak from the earlier accident and also taking hospital medication. The combination sends her into a cardiac arrest. The hive-mind people rush to help, gathering around Zosia because they can feel her pain across the network. Carol panics and handcuffs herself to Zosia, thinking they want to take Zosia away. In reality, they're only trying to save her. It's a tragic moment. Carol has caused so much harm in the name of agency that she's now hurting the one person who she trusts. As the episode ends, we're left unsure if Zosia will survive. The Hive will let Zosia die if Carol insists, because they refuse to violate her autonomy. Carol finally allows them to help, but it may be too late. At this point, it's clear Carol's choices are hurting everyone around her. Episode 4 of Pluribus is painful, chaotic, and uncomfortable on purpose. It forces us to look at what freedom actually costs, and whether holding on to your individuality is worth the damage it can cause. Carol doesn't have the answers yet, but neither do we. And that tension is what makes this show so fascinating. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.